I think they're gonna make it.
You think they're gonna make
I
it?
think they're gonna make it.
Man, my heart tells me they should, but I don't know, man. The analyst in me is sort of a bit hesitant to give it so early on. The thing about teams at this sort of level of play is that sometimes they get a bit too confident, almost uncharacteristically cocky, and then they start making bad decisions.
Well, I think if they were going to make any cocky misplays, I think they would have done it last game. Especially when you're like that close to the other team, that's usually when the mistakes come out. But you know, they played that well. I think the worst is behind them.
Okay.
CW should be calmer seas.
Okay, so that being said, picks and bans, Lee Sin and Kane banned out. So this is a big focus on the jungle pool. Meanwhile, Aatrox and Karma removed by CW. So College West wanna at least remove some of the flex picks available to SP. And Shara had a pretty good is a bit of understatement. He had an amazing game on Aatrox the previous match. So this is a good and extremely smart ban being used by CW.
Yep, those Qs, man. Oh man, if the Aatrox in your solo queue games landed Qs like that, he would get 4 honors.
Yeah, 4 honors and thumbs
and a
up.
medal, yeah, something like that.
Send him a skin, like gift him a skin. Last ban here coming is gonna be Kindred and LeBlanc. So SP, you can see what the focus is very clearly. It's gonna be you don't get to play any of your jungle picks, right? For CW, it's a bit more mid lane focused, but also targeting out Shara's LeBlanc a little bit. And Yuumi now being hovered. There you go, locked in. Chiffon's Yuumi was banned out the previous game, is gonna get access to that this game.
Yep, you said you wanted to see a Yuumi because like what was it?
I
The
think
skill
she's
ceiling's pretty high.
Yeah, skill ceiling's really high, but if you can make full use of the champion, extremely strong.
Alright. But that does have to take into account your AD carry. If your AD carry doesn't know how to play with the Yuumi, that's a bit of a question mark there.
Yeah, the Ezreal here being hovered, I was about to say, Yuumi Ezreal is a defensive lane, it's a bit of a poke defensive lane, but Ender is extremely proficient on this Ezreal, so CW locking it away might be the best choice of action here. Best course of action rather. Instead, they will be hovering between the Sivir and Ezreal. It might just be the Sivir to finish this on off, so good offensive tools now being locked in by CW. You have a good, reliable crowd control in the form of Nautilus and press R to go fast on Sivir.
Yeah, I think Sivir Nautilus is a better composition lane than Ezreal Nautilus. You know, in team fights you can just run at them. You have a lot of good engage tools. Meanwhile, Ender gonna lock in the Lucian instead of the Ezreal.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you play Ezreal Yuumi into Sivir Nautilus, you end up just getting shoved under your turret 24/7.
Yep.
And it becomes very tricky because you don't have the presence in the lane. You can't utilize the Yuumi as much as you want to. Getting the Lucian gives you a bit more early game strength and possibly opens up the option of being more offensive in that regard. And Relia locked in was banned the entirety of today. We'll eventually go through the picks and bans this time.
Yep. Last game I said we're not gonna see any Irelia, and then Irelia pops up. Who would have thought? I mean,
well, Caster's Curse has always been an issue for us today, so it's finally materializing once more.
It's all scripted, man.
It is all scripted. There's a guy like right there just writing everything.
Oh yes.
Next pick. production team just production team just flipped us off.
Yep.
Nectar being banned out here, and Sejuani as well. So wow, that's a 4 jungle bans that's been used by SP so far.
Yep. I mean, if they already have their jungle pick, they have the Silas. They're not worried about their jungle pool. They want 0.
Just ban the Jarvan, make it 5 jungle bans.
Oh, come on, Jarvan. Yes, no, maybe.
I mean, there are still options available. We saw CW hover the Evelyn earlier today. Early in the pick and ban rather. Yeah, so there you go. So that's the Evelyn being removed. There are still options like the Elise as well. So I'm not entirely convinced that CW cannot play other junglers. And right now, the Volley Bear. Oh man, I don't know how I feel about this, but
I mean, Jarvan is definitely probably the definitely the better pick than either Talia or Volibear. But if 0309 2001,
I'm just gonna call him 03.
03 works for me. If 03 prefers comfort over meta, I think that is something that he can play. Yeah.
Talia being locked in rather is an interesting choice because it can flex between jungle and mid, and you can send Irelia top. So CW actually not giving anything away right now. That being said, Cannon will be the choice here for Sherwin, the top side, and we saw how much impact he had on the champion earlier on the previous game.
Yep, the Slicing Maelstrom really was one of the
Oh man,
highest impact. Oh man, what is that?
it's the Veigar mid lane.
I don't know how to feel about this.
I mean, okay, so let's theory craft.
Okay.
Veigar mid lane, your event horizon actually stops Irelia from all-inning you because the moment she dashes through, stunned, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't get the reset on the Q.
Okay.
So I could see theoretically how this works out. In addition, you wouldn't expect, okay, so there's going to be Irelia top, Talia jungle, and Syndra mid. The reason they picked the Veigar is because they wanted to counterpick the Irelia. She's extremely susceptible to magic damage and getting poked out, so if you put mid lane Veigar versus mid lane Irelia, you actually have a decent matchup, but now against the Syndra, this is actually quite tough.
Yeah, I don't think this Veigar is going to have a good time. Having said that, I think the Crossfire is going to screw me over again. But yeah, immobile, sort of medium range Veigar against Syndra is it's not happy times, man.
Not to mention that the jungle pick here, being Talia, makes it so easy for them to chain CC against a very immobile Veigar, like you mentioned. So let's talk composition and win conditions right now.
Okay.
Walk me through SP's composition. What are we looking at here? I mean, a couple of good skirmish champions available, but at the same time, bot lane is looking to be extremely aggressive with Lucian Yuumi.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think SP is just going to revert back to what they've played last game. You put the cannon in a side lane, let him push, and if a fight starts up, he can TP in. Other than that, the 4 other members can just go on the map and do whatever they want.
Right.
And I think that served them well so far. No reason to change it yet.
Okay, so maybe play the 1-4, hoping to get to that point where they can actually execute. And I think Sherwin is, if you want to put your chips on a player,
Okay.
given his past performance against TP, might not be the worst horse to bet on.
Yeah.
Looking for CW's composition. This is I mean, they have the Sivir, they have the Nautilus, and the Irelia. This is press R and let's go.
Yep.
Good team fight composition as well. I'm curious to see how they make use of the Talia, because what separates, in my books, what separates a good Talia from the great Talias is a creative and good use of the Weaver's Wall. Being able to split fights with your ultimate is how I decide if a Talia player is up to par. And in these instances, there's only, 2 members that can effectively cross the Weaver's Wall, being Lucian and Silas, with the small, dashes that they have. If you lock up the cannon, you prevent him from getting in the backline, no flank. You lock away the Veigar, he has little to no impact in these fights. So all these are options that GP YJ, Talia, is going to be able to utilize if she can get there.
Yep. One thing you have to keep note of in Talia is that, like you said, either she can split up fights later in the game, but earlier in the game, she can Weaver's Wall right across the entire lane, and you can't get out. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Either you have a dash, you die, or you waste a flash.
Yeah, so I'm quite curious how she plays this one out. Like you said, being able to wall off the lanes. If I were her, I kind of want to focus mid top a bit more, just because these are the champions that have to expend flash if they want to cross the wall, right? Veigar is, as we mentioned, immobile. Cannon has little or no gap closing tools apart from the electric rush, so lightning rush rather. So there's really no tools for him to get out from those ganks.
Yeah, but if you look on both sides, I think one more thing that we should note is that many of these champions are very snowbally. Like you get one kill on them and they just go. The Lucian, if you get a kill on him, he's gonna be an issue in the mid game. The Irelia, that's a feast of famine, really.
Right. Irelia, I think Astronology, this name pops up to me because he had quite a good performance in terms of the qualifier stage. He was playing Aatrox and he was really popping off. This time it's going to be the Irelia for him. And like you mentioned, Feast of Famine might be the name of the game this game when it comes to dealing with SP, who is as yet undefeated.
Yeah, I think both drafts so far are just on a level playing field. I think the main thing is going to come down to is execution. This is one of the rare games today where I can say that. I think the previous few games they've had decent differences in the draft.
Right.
And this is the one where it really comes down to how well you can play it.
So execution is going to be of utmost priority here. Once again, we're going to remind our viewers what the teams here are playing for. This is the group stages for Campus Legends, which is our tertiary collegiate level tournament. For the winners, the top 8 teams that make it out from today. It's going to be 4 from Group A, 4 from Group B. When they make it out, they will be proceeding to play into the knockout stages on the 3rd and 4th of August at the Campus Game Fest held at the Singapore Indoor Stadium. So do drop by, come by and give the teams, your schoolmates, every inch and every mile of support you have and cheer them on, because I'm sure it's going to be an exciting event. For now, just looking to find which are the top 8 teams that will represent their institutions.
Yep, looking very forward to that. Right now, I think we're playing for what, seed 1?
Yeah, we're playing for seed 1. So if SP wins this, they are the definitive seed 1 for their group. But if they lose, then, you know, there's some math to do, some tiebreakers that will possibly ensue. But
All right.
I'm not... My heart is saying, you know, don't hold out for SP losing. Believe
don't
in
the
SP.
caster curse is gonna come
Believe in SP.
No. You're gonna curse it.
All right.
I
So, fingers crossed. You know, I mean, out of all the casters that are going to be at the Campus Game Fest, you know, for the knockout stages, I think all of us have our own sort of schools that we will be representing. For me, it's going to be SP, who are looking on fire right now. For you, it's going to be TP, right? Grandin is from RP.
All right.
And I think Gerard is from NYP. So there is a solid sort of division between us about which school we're rooting for and which school we actually believe in, right?
Yep. You're leaving out Terrence, though. I think.
No, Terrence is playing, so he doesn't get a team. He's playing, he doesn't get a team.
Alright, fair enough.
Right, now we are on the Summer's Rift for what could possibly be the last game for today. Most likely we will go through one more tiebreaker to decide the standings as they are. Now for now, level 1 cheese coming in from ITE College West. You can see with the Nautilus, they don't really care, they're just walking in. A Prowling Projectile is going to see this sneaky invade coming in. Dun dun dun.
Is anything gonna happen? I think they're actually just going for vision. I don't think they really want to invade. Yeah, they're spotted out, so they're just gonna play it safe and back off to play standard.
Backing off now, but the ward has been set down around the Raptor buff, Raptor camp rather, by Team SP. Singapore Polytechnic have struck first in terms of information and vision.
Well, there's another ward in the top side of the jungle for CW though. So I think SP does know that they're playing standard, so there's not much to worry about here.
Meanwhile, looks like Talia is gonna start on her blue buff. Nothing too peculiar about that. Silas, like we saw in the previous game, Ice Destiny doing his wolf camp first, doing a solo clear and then pathing towards the bottom half.
Yep, we're gonna see how Mr. Big Brain here impacts the map with his high IQ macro plays, like you said.
Yeah, I'm gonna be focusing a lot more attention onto Ice Destiny because the previous game he was actually a big activator for a lot of the action that SP was looking for. So this time, whether he can get that down for himself is gonna be very, very important. Like we were saying, you know, this Talia wants to hit mid and top. Well, she's heading towards the bot side after a single clear. This is level 2 cheese coming in.
Yes, more cheese, come on. Been lacking cheese all day. This is my first break at it. Come on.
There you go, level 2 flashing, but the dredge line completely whiffing. Oh man, that is some spoiled cheese. Not the grade A blue cheese that you're looking for. No camembert, no. That is moldy and spoiled cheese.
Yeah, and the Nautilus has to burn flash for that failed engage, which is like seriously not worth.
And they didn't even use anything right there. It's just like, oh well, you know, he's gonna miss this. I can feel it in my bones, so I'm gonna walk away.
Well, the Talia's gonna, at least he's gonna take a red buff for her troubles.
So interestingly enough, because of his pathing, Ice Destiny is gonna be losing his rip buff. He did wolf into Raptors into Krugs and completely ignored his buff. So although he will get level 3 off of 3 camps, he will lose a single rip buff for his efforts. This is an interesting path. I haven't seen this all too much, but for the most part, if you do 2 camps, you need a 4th camp to get level 3.
Right.
But in this case, because he did Krugs, it's kind of interesting because there's an EXP gap.
Alright, very interested to see whether Ice Destiny decides to go for gank top, since Irelia is actually pushing out quite a bit and that river bush isn't actually warded. But no, it looks like he's just gonna go for his blue buff first.
Yeah, looking for this take right now on the blue buff. Ice Destiny is starting it up already. And they're now sitting pretty comfortably in the bot side, in fact, just dashing for a relentless pursuit to land some damage down onto the Sivir.
Yep.
CS-wise, they're all but even here.
Yep, you can tell Enner is actually pretty confident here. You're up against a Nautilus and you're just dashing up to get some poke damage onto the Sivir.
Mid lane Shara trying to land the Dark Matter. The Event Horizon is going to keep the Syndra in for a bit longer. Meanwhile, dashing forward is Enner. He's trying to get the damage down. First Blood somehow. Hong Yeji gonna get it down with the assistance of the Talia. Must have been a gank coming in. Unfortunate that we didn't manage to catch that, but it's gonna be a CW early on the board with First Blood.
Yep, and that just spells more trouble for the Veigar, already in a tough position against the Syndra. Now the Syndra's 1-0 and you're 0-1. You're just like, how do I play this right now?
You can see it's sort of off the back of the draft that CW had, because they dummied the Irelia into mid lane, and that forced Shara to pick the Veigar, which now we know is a really bad matchup for the Syndra.
Yeah.
Over time, this isn't going to get better. It's going to get tougher and tougher for SP to deal with this as level 6 is hit. And we can see, there you go. The knockback in, almost instantaneous, and the ignite as well from the Syndra was enough to finish it off.
Okay, I mean, if you're that low on Veigar, you really shouldn't be doing much. And we miss another kill.
Oh, man. No, it's okay. Sherwin getting the solo kill, it's a characteristic. We kind of expect this from the previous game.
Yeah, Sherwin has been that solid rock in the top lane for SP here. I think he's been pretty reliable, and he's not going to be letting go of their reputation anytime soon, it seems.
Tricky part here is the melee versus range matchup for Irelia is always a skill matchup, right? If you can close the gap, sure, you can get enough damage down to pose a threat, but because it is cannon, Lightning Rush makes it easier for him to disengage. He gets a single stack on you, WQ, you're stunned up, he walks away.
Yeah, take a look at this. Take a look at the poor Veigar though. Almost, what was it? 8? Oh, replay.
Yeah, so this is what we're talking about. The moment you dash forward, you get punished very quickly because the stun is almost instantaneous, and he's gonna be able to auto attack you down with the bonus attack speed.
Yeah, that was pretty close. If there were maybe 2 more minions there, I think it could have gone the other direction. Unfortunate though, but at least he's willing to try something.
Map is starting to see a bit more pressure come in as Enner is taking the bare brunt of the pressure moving forward. Inside has to be careful. The Nautilus taking a lot of damage. Kingslayer used by Ice Destiny, but the Seismic Shove has to be flashed away from because it was precise and spot on from the Talia. Now using the heal from the Yuumi to get out.
Yep, both junglers had similar ideas. We have to get our bot lane ahead, so let's go down there. Unfortunately, they meet at the exact same time, and both lanes just walk away with 0 kills.
However, the summer spells were blown on the side of SP. There was a heal and there was an ignite, or not ignite, rather, flash being used. Hold on here, mid lane, level 6, all in. See you later, buddy. This is what we're talking about, Spuds. You know, at level 6, the Syndra is just gonna stat check you.
Yep. Let's recap a little bit of what this Veigar has been doing for the past 2 minutes. First he dies, then he comes back to lane, and then he gets poked out of lane, he has to back,
and then he
comes
dies.
back to lane again, and then he dies.
And this is pulling a lot of pressure away from the jungler right now because Ice Destiny has to be careful to deal with this. Shara cannot afford to fall behind anymore, otherwise this Syndra is just gonna all-in him every time he walks back into lane.
Yeah, and for some reason, look at his inventory, he has a very interesting ring there. Dark Seal, I don't think he's gonna be making much use of that anytime soon. So
that is sustained by Dark Seal. That is, I'm getting poked out, I need the extra recovery from my potions, Dark Seal.
Yeah, well, you're not using it to its full potential, but I can see it. Meanwhile, top lane, I think Sherwin's just gonna keep pressing his advantage. Not many kills, but you can see the CS is beginning to tick in favor of him.
More importantly, he is freezing the wave out, so this forces the Talia to walk topside to unfreeze the wave, or at least come and counter and gank this. As long as the wave is set in that position, Astronology has to be very careful where he's standing around in terms of positioning relative to the creep wave.
Yeah, good to see that he's acknowledging this, though he doesn't really want to be ganked.
Oh,
we see a fight though in the bot lane.
Final chapter and the culling being used in conjunction. A lot of damage and the spell shield immediately dispersed by the culling. Good flash from 0-3 to get out that fight, but double ultimates expanded by SP. Meanwhile, mid lane, the Syndra is just having a field day against the Veigar.
But that is a very low summoner bot lane. Oh, wait, distraction.
See ya, buddy. Enner finding the solo kill, getting grabbed in once more. I don't think Insight wants this. Enner finds a kill finally on the bottom side. This is the Enner we come to expect, right? He gets the solo kills, he gets the work done.
Yeah, and a fan favorite. I mean, if you, if I were to predict Twitch chat right now, if the qualifiers
It's popping off like Enner.
you know, at least that's what happened during qualifiers. Obviously, a lot of fans. I think he's living up to expectations.
Nice Destiny, gonna clear a ward, and there you go. Once more, Shara's just gonna fall. I don't even know what to say at this point because it's so expected, it's so routine. The moment he gets caught by the stun, ignite, press R, unleash power, you're dead.
Right. Well, this Syndra, if this continues on, the Syndra's gonna be quite unstoppable. I'm actually not sure what he can do here other than just sitting under his turret. But even then, the Syndra has a long range. You can't lane swap him because I think Cannon will just likely face the same fate, and then you're gonna feed the Irelia as well. So if you're the Veigar here, it's really you're really in a tight position.
Yeah, but the good news is if you do end up lane swapping, you send the cannon to the mid lane. There's a lot more reliable crowd control, right? There's enough damage as well that they could be able to find a 2v2 kill, especially with Ice Destiny coming in. That being said, also I'm kind of afraid to put the Veigar in the long lane. Astrology is gonna have a field day chasing him down, just running him down in general.
I'd be afraid to put this Veigar in any lane, frankly. I mean,
stay in the fountain, man. This is the only way he's gonna stay alive.
alright, look, I mean, how do I put this? The draft, it was even until the mind game came in from College West to move the Irelia in the top side. What SP could have done is if Shara said, okay, I cannot play against the Syndra, is lane swap it right from the get-go.
Oh, hold on here. Big amount of damage being put down to Ice Destiny. Here comes the Weaver's Wall. Chasing in for the kill is the Talia. Chilling Smite being used and enough damage from the stones to finish her off. A lot being expanded by a 1-for-1 trade nonetheless. They find the Rella on the top side as well. I believe it was a 1v1 solo kill there from the cannon. Now they're looking for the bot side. Dredge line from inside. Again missing, and the shifting, the seismic shove as well not hitting.
Yep, 5 bans to the jungle from SP, but it's not really doing much for him, is he?
Take a look at this replay here. I believe it's the solo kill, so
okay.
Well, it should be a repeat of what Sherwin did previously, I believe. Oh, okay, there you go. So Arella goes in, lands the stun,
Alright.
thinks she can go for the all-in, and decides to dive. Big mistake, my friend.
Diving a cannon with slicing maelstrom up. That is bold and probably not gonna work out very well in your favor.
Yeah, that was probably not the best idea.
That was questionable to say the least.
Meanwhile, jumping in here, Ice Destiny leading the charge, not landing the abscond duck means this is the end of the engage. Wave is starting to get shoved in the bottom side, but the CS gap for Enner is huge. It's 40 in favor of the Lucian player.
Right, now if you're an SP fan, which
Final chapter being used to disengage. Dredge line not connecting once more is gonna root Talia down, so no seismic shove to knock them back. Just as I say that, she throws a couple of stones forward to lead this push off.
Yep, good disengage from the Yuumi Lucian duo. Not much there for me to say other than yeah, good job.
This is probably why they picked the Lucian though, because you have a lot more power when you are ahead as compared to something like an Ezreal. If you get a kill, you get 2 kills, you still can't convert that all too much. But with this Lucian, you can see the power starting to come in with the Prestige attack. He's taking on 3 members under his turret and he's still going for the fight. Teleport coming in, a bit delayed though. They will land the stun and nope! Stopwatch to clutch this one out. Here comes the cannon though with the slicing maelstrom. He's looking for the stun onto the Sivir and he will find it, but the kill is a whole other matter as she's walking away. She still does have the heal though. There goes the prowling projectile to secure it.
Luckily, if you're an SP fan, even though your mid laner is 1-3, your top laner and your bot laner are both doing very well for themselves.
And that's the play you need to make, right? Spread the love, hit the bot side, gank the lanes, try to get your teammates back into the game.
Yep, especially crucial that the Veigar was able to pick up 1 kill there. Do I think it's gonna make a difference in his lane against the Syndra? No, I think he's still gonna get popped.
Oh yeah, right now the turret's getting popped as well.
Yeah, but well, it's gonna make a little bit more difference later on in the game if he's able to stack that up.
Oh, daring here from Enner. He's going all in, but with the Vanguard's edge, he's getting finished off. Uncharacteristic mistake from the AD carry of Singapore Polytechnic. Overreaching there and getting caught out.
Yep, like you said, maybe there was a bit of one of those cocky plays that you were talking about. Definitely not something you want to do as an AD carry. Go against the Irelia. Of course, he pays for it with his life.
Yeah, and now that Irelia is back into the game, she got a ton, I say a ton, 2 turret plates off the top side and a kill onto Enner.
Yep.
That is, by my calculations, about 5 to 600 gold.
Yep, gold shouldn't be that much of a difference in the top lane. But overall, you look at the overall gold. SP versus College West, that's about a 2k deficit for ITE.
A lot of that gold is being held in the mid lane and the top side now. You have to imagine that this Syndra is just huge. You can't afford to go toe-to-toe with her if you are Sharon. Rightly so, he's playing so far behind without any turret behind him.
I mean, if you're against this Syndra, 3-0-0 with Luden's Echo already completed, who can go up against him, really?
Coming into the top side to repel this wave, or I say that's more to make sure this gang connects. Looking for the stun and the Hextech Gunblade to slow her down. Talia has not much to be done here in the top side.
Yeah, just showing her face as, Silas is actually going in.
Yeah, the Event Horizon is going to keep the Syndra here, but the stun back is magnificent. The Unleash power for the damage down as well. Ice Destiny going back in, trying to kite this one out. The Weaver's Wall, not enough range, but the Syndra is going to flash out and survive. So 2v2, in the grand scheme of things, they trade health bars, but no one really goes down.
Yep, very good response from GPYJ. Knew he was in range, just expended the ultimate to get his mid laner out safe, denying the 400 gold bounty to SP.
Thank goodness for that. It would have been disastrous if they gave the kill over to the Vigar. It would have definitely got him back into the game. Once more into the breach in the top side, JPYJ looking for the kill, but no, instead opting to back off.
Yep, at this point you really just want to make sure your laners, your carries, are safe as a jungler. So when they're in trouble, you really want to be there to try to assist.
On that note, it does seem like Ice is trying to make his presence felt, although he's not really succeeding.
Yep.
This half of the game, we're about 16 minutes in, he's 0-1 and 0. All about equal in terms of CS with JPYJ. He needs to make something happen, he needs to make something happen soon, because College West is starting to build a small but significant goal lead as the game goes on.
Yep, and if you're going to make something happen, most likely you want it in the bot lane. Lucian normally hits his power spike in a few minutes or so, say maybe 2.
Man needs his Blade King.
Yep, if he hits that before like a certain minute mark, like say 20, he's okay. But if he doesn't, well, that's where the problems start to come up. Ice Destiny seems to be aware of this fact as he paths towards bot lane, looking for a gank. GPYJ though already in the bush to stop him.
If you're Enno, you have to be very careful here because the layering CC is just going to be so deadly. A depth charge into a seismic shove and you're instantly dead, right? I don't think there's anything you can do to counteract this, but they're flashing forward, they're looking for the kill, the final chapter off the back, and they get the disengage down, and they're turning this fight around. The first member to fall is going to be Ice Destiny, and everyone else is just kiting away. There's no teleport to speak of from the mid laner or the top laner, but they're all 4 members right here looking to siege down this bot tier 1.
Yep, you can tell Ice Destiny is really trying to get his team back into the game, throwing himself at the enemy team, hoping something manages to stick. But unfortunately, CW is able to turn that back around, put enough damage, and pop the Silas instantly.
Prowling projectile being used to dissuade the push on in, but this is a precarious position. If you stay here for a bit too long, you might just get caught out. They're looking and trying to clear out the wave, but so far the efforts have been diminished. There you go, bot tier 1 is going to fall in favor of CW, bring them a hit in terms of tower score to 2. Right now under the turret once more, he dies and he dies and he dies. Astronology making the same mistake over and over again.
You would think that maybe if you were this Irelia, you would stop trying to go in on the cannon when he's that close to his tower. There's a point to why cannon is freezing the lane there. I don't think Astronology is getting that.
Someone needs to send him a decoded message on WhatsApp or something and say, you gotta stop doing that, buddy, because like you said, there's a reason cannon freezes it there. It makes it so hard for you to dive him. In the long lane, sure. At the midway mark, land Vanguard's edge, you land the stun, that's an all-in, but not here, not under his turret.
Right, you can see SP trying to go for the Rift Herald though. One thing I'm questioning is why College West did not go for the Windrake. They took down bot tower and SP was trying to reset. It's relatively free, why didn't you go for it? That's
you guys can't see me on camera right now, but I'm doing that row safe meme where like I'm tapping my forehead because you're exactly right. There is an objective they could have taken but they didn't go for, and now they're moving towards the Rift Herald.
Why are you taking Rift Herald instead of
This is very tricky, right? Because now they can go all in onto the mid lane. They're looking for the kill. The Event Horizon is going to stun her up, and there you go, the Primordial Burst Not enough for the kill. The credit will go to Ice Destiny. But still, he gets a good chunk of the assist, which brings him back a bit more relative in terms of gold.
Hey, the most important part is that you got the bounty off the Syndra. Hopefully you're able to put that gold to better use. What is Talia trying to do?
Using the Weaver's Wall to cut off the push is what she's trying to do, and they buy some space for the mid lane right now. Off the screen, we saw that top tier 1 did fall, so CW now have 3 turrets to their name. College West looking pretty strong in terms of structures taken.
Yeah, and that plays to how CW has been all over the map, able to defend and even pressures SP in a more unexpected manner.
Posturing around this Rift Herald, I say they, it's just the respective top laners holding their ground. Astronology looking for the Crux.
Alright, one thing good for Astronology here though is that they finally took top tower, which means he doesn't have to dive it anymore.
That's definitely a bonus, especially in these long lanes where it makes it a bit trickier for Sherwin to stick around, right? Finally, Air Drake has been claimed by CW. Looks like they were paying attention after all.
Looks like we've spent all our Drake RNG though, since now we're only getting oceans and airs.
Yeah, that is, oh man. What's gonna be the next Drake is the question. I think it's gonna be another ocean, right?
It's an ocean, yeah.
Alright.
Alright, well, I don't think either team is gonna go for Baron right now, so the only real objectives on the map right now are those towers, but I don't think College West have that good of a siege potential.
I mean, they do have that Sivir to keep the waves up. Whether they can siege is a whole other question. I think they're gonna have to force a pick with the Nautilus and Talia, right? So far, the combo that has worked for them is depth charge into seismic shove and then kill the person instantly. That has been the combo that's worked for them. They're going to be looking for that around these areas of darkness as they clear the vision out.
Yep, take a look at the bot lane though. Sherwin is going back to his roots and split pushing. So SP obviously they want to play the 1-4, which honestly does make it a little easier for CW if they want to find a pick.
But we also have to note that his teleport is up. There is an opportunity for Sherwin if he comes in with a flank to win the fight for them. Right now here in the jungle though, seems like a fight might be breaking out. Event Horizon is going to contain this onslaught forward. A flash being used by Shara rather, very preemptively as they look to siege down to top tier 2. Weaver's Wall is going to cut off. Oh man, not in range, not in time. And here goes JPYJ. A bit of unfortunate positioning using the Weaver's Wall in. And here comes the counter engage as well. Sherwin off the back, doesn't have the flash just yet, but with the slicing maelstrom he catches 4 members and he rips them apart. The rest of the team following up and they might be able to win this fight. Ice Destiny now leading the charge for his team, everyone else chasing and Enter getting the second. So 1 apiece from each player and now they're looking to move forward even more.
Yeah, like you said, the TP coming in clutch for Sherwin on the re-engage.
Oh, AD carry battle. Enter though has the company of his teammates and that's not a fair fight. They find a kill and now they might be looking for another one. Shara landing a stun onto the Syndra. He's kiting away, trying his best to get the damage done. Remember, whenever he throws the W, there is vision of the area, so they will spot out the Baron has been disengaged from and SP now looking to recall and reset.
Yep, SP here only has to go back and reset, not much else they can do. On the replay here though, you see Sherwin slicing Maelstrom, very high impact as usual, takes down 2 into a stun, secures them both very easily for SP.
Yeah, it's so scary when they take these fights because you can see the way they layer the CC on top of each other. The moment one connects, it's always the next one following up. Oh, you land slicing Maelstrom, Event Horizon, final chapter. There's so many ways for them to go about this and still there are additional tools that Ice Destiny can procure with the hijack. You know, you can steal Vanguard's Edge or Depth Charge.
Yep, credit to SP especially for playing on that TP. They knew that, alright, College West thinks Cannon's at bot lane, we can take a fight, but no, we're actually gonna outnumber you. More fights though, oh boy.
Oh man! Flashing away using the smite to get the health back, so they will find 2 kills somehow here in the jungle. I think Enter getting isolated with the unleashed power was definitely an issue there. They shouldn't be looking for this one though, because they are severely outnumbered as they dash away. Ice Destiny not getting hit by the Scare of the Week. They're still 5 members strong in the mid lane, and CW looking to push this one down.
Yep, they actually might get this. Death time was actually pretty long here for SP, but nope, they're actually just gonna peel back, hopefully get some vision, clear some vision around the Baron, and make sure SP doesn't sneak it from under their noses.
So super importantly right now, Sherwin doesn't have flash.
Yep.
and he doesn't have Proto Belt, so he doesn't necessarily have the tools required to jump into the back line. It's always going to have to be a perfect flank, as we see the replay here.
Alright.
Yep. Enter,
Stack check.
wow. He
Oh
didn't
boy.
Yeah, that was like 0.5 seconds.
That was less of a replay than I thought. You just press R.
Yeah,
It's the magic button when you play Syndra and you're 5-1 and 0.
with the Morelos as well. Jesus.
Yep. SP is gonna have to find a way to shut down this Syndra, and I'm not sure how because she like I said, she is pretty long range. She's just gonna sit in the back until she's ready to press that magic button. Then she's just gonna lead someone off your team. So that's something you definitely have to be aware of, and try to
The key
yeah.
The key to success so far has been the flanks coming in from Sherwin as well as Ice Destiny. As long as they can get into the backline and, disrupt the Syndra a bit, force her to be careful about her positioning so she can't unleash power any weak member of the opposition. That's
Okay.
how they've been neutralizing her so far.
Credit to SP though, you note that Sherwin is only really pushing up the side lane when he has that TP, so that he can play those mind games. Right now he doesn't have a TP, he's trying to stick with his team. And take a look on the map, they're starting off the Baron
No way.
when CW is doing Dragon.
Yeah, there's no way
Oh.
they can do this. They don't have enough damage and Enner isn't there, so this is a free Ocean Drake being taken by CW. Granted, the RNG isn't perfect. It's a double Ocean and single Mountain, but this forces members of CW to just walk over and check this area out.
Next Drake is Ocean. Woohoo!
Oh, no, it's an air, it's an air.
Oh yeah.
Double Ocean, double Air Drake. Wow, that is not exactly the best RNG one can hope for.
We had all our Infernals and Mountains in the previous
Oh,
games,
yes.
haven't we?
The server is saying, no, we need more Oceans. Look at the minimap, posturing around the Baron buff is CW. They've cleared out all the vision. This is completely blind. There's nothing that they should be able to see once this buff, once that ward goes down. So this is a position you don't want to play in if you're SP. Walking into chokes against Syndra and Nautilus is always a fuse bad.
Yep, last game we praised SP's deep warding. I think they're really going to have to play on that vision again. Try to clear it out around the Baron. But it's very difficult to do so when you're this far behind. Your turrets, you haven't even taken a single turret.
Right.
That's the main issue here. You can't put down deep wards even in the jungle if you don't take down those turrets. I think that's something you have to focus on. Right now you can just all you can do is just jump into the jungle, clear vision, and hope CW doesn't replace it.
What is the way back in for SP right now? Because I'm banking all my money on a Sherwin TP slicing maelstrom flank. But is there any other tool that SP can seek to utilize if they want to pull themselves back into the game?
Well, at this point, your carries aren't really that formidable. I don't think Shara's gonna put up much of a threat anytime soon.
He's scaling though, right?
He is.
Yeah.
But Sherwin, he's still pushing his side lanes. That's his win condition. That's what he wants to do. But the thing is, when you're split pushing and you don't have any of the enemy turrets, you're still on your side of the map. So
That
there's
is
not
true.
really much pressure for him to give there.
Oh, a lot of damage done onto the Talia. Weaver's Wall is gonna deny Enner. Right now they're going all in onto him. The Death Charge is gonna keep him up. Meanwhile, in the front line, they split this fight up pretty well. Here comes the Slicing Maelstrom. They will not find anyone because multiple stopwatches have been utilized, and Sherwin now has been rendered ineffective in this fight. He will find the first kill though, as Ice Destiny jumps in. He's still topped up. Here comes Astrology onto the fight. Astrology will not look to re-engage here with the flash up still though.
And that's a pretty good fight from CW. Now look at the map. They have priority over mid lane. They can push down that tier 2 turret and even maybe go for the inhibitor turret.
Look at what the support is doing. He's keeping Ice Destiny away from this push. A great stun is gonna sort of shred the wave a bit more, as Depth Charge has been used by Ice Destiny, the hijacked version, to get the kill onto the support. Insight will fall, but the rest of the team are here to claim vengeance.
Yep, they bring the fight back to mid lane, and that's the crucial thing because it stops the minions from being able to provide backup to the push.
Oh, teleport in. Maybe not the best idea here, Enner. To get the kill onto Ice Destiny, so this is a small window where there is no jungle available just yet.
Yep, pretty close on kills though, but as you can see, there's about a 4k gold advantage for CW here. Only gonna get worse as... Oh wait, it's only gonna get better for SP as they try to push down their first turret of the game.
Yeah, I'm curious how much of this gold deficit is in terms of having structures up on the map, like free gold as it were. Because the moment they do start knocking those down, it makes it a bit more easy for them.
Yep, look at Enner though, he's about 2k gold ahead of his lane counterpart based on like, what's that, 760 CS difference? I think if they were to come back in this fight, into this game, he's gonna have to play a large role along with Sherwin. If Sherwin's able to keep up the pressure now, he has a top lane if he wants to push. Enner has to step up, really.
If I had to put my money on a player to step up big time to win them the game, I would put it on Enner. So SP right now, all their hopes lying on the AD carry is what we're trying to say, and the top laner as well. The previous flank, like I mentioned, was rendered quite ineffective because multiple players had stopwatches at perfect timings to negate the damage coming in. This time, the only member with a stopwatch available is the Talia, and let's face it, she's probably gonna melt before she actually can do anything, so we'll see if the flank this time from Sherwin is good and true.
Yep, Talia very squishy. If she's in a position for the cannon to run up and stun her, that's not... I think that's her mistake, really.
Not just the stun from the cannon, but the event horizon as well.
Yep.
We can see the scaling from Shera. This is a Glacial Augment Vigar that has the ability to slow you down with the Pro Belt, not Pro Belt, rather, the GLP and the Spooky Ghost, for him to guarantee that the event horizon will catch you out.
He's finally got some stacks on his Dark Seal though, 4. Not really...
It's not the best.
It's not the best, but it's something really. So you can see that he's trying his best to get back into this game. Succeeding to some degree, but he still has a long way to go.
He has 500 AP, out of which 214 is from his passive being accumulated on the Q. So overall, he is still scaling up pretty well. Meanwhile, the Dragon is going to go the way of CW. 2 air, 2 oceans, like the prophecy said.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if Veigar manages to come back into the game, he's not going to enter stat check territory like the Syndra. If he was a hit, maybe. But now that he's behind, he's not really going to be able to press R on someone and just delete them.
Not yet. Meanwhile, his counterpart has gotten the Rabadon's Death Cap, right? That is whew, that's a big buy.
Right, if you see the Syndra coming towards you, you turn around and run.
You run. You run or use Zhonya's and try and stopwatch the damage away. But if you get stunned up, well, I'm sorry for you, buddy.
I don't think it's worth Zhonyas. You should just save the Zhonyas because you know you're gonna die as soon as you come out of that golden state.
Earlier on the bottom side, Astronology recalling to get his next round of buys. It looks like GA is gonna be the hot pick here as they look to isolate the Nautilus in the jungle. Prowling Projectile does a good deal of slows at this point, but the Event Horizon isn't really going to do too much.
Yeah, they're just hanging around the Baron. I think they just want to deny CW from placing any meaningful vision. So they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna stand here, and you're not gonna be able to put down any wards.
Yeah, but the inside track has been gained by CW in the mid lane.
Yep.
Using the Vanguard's edge, completely whiffing though, but meanwhile the Event Horizon completely disengaging the fight. Sherwin in the middle of it all, spreading the damage out. They will fight the front line first and then move to the back line. So the first one to fall is going to be the Aurelia, and the second one here might just be the Nautilus. Ice Destiny still doing a lot of work. It's a double kill for the jungler of SP, but he will fall eventually. A lot of damage onto the back line, the Weaver's Wall, getting stunned up by the Event Horizon. JPYJ not finding his entry into the fight once more. They will trade a single member from SP in the form of 2, but the jungler is still alive, and that's important for CW.
Yep, and ultimately that's for 2 for 1 result because of Cannon's entrance into the fight, right into the middle and splitting it into 2. So the 2 members that were caught out, they just pop and die, and the other 3 they can't really do anything to stop it.
We're starting to see the value of the Event Horizon as well, because every time Silver presses R on the hunt, let's go for this fight.
Yep.
Shera immediately snap drops the Event Horizon and disengages, stops you from chasing further on. Anyone that has committed past the Event Horizon isn't receiving any backup.
Yeah, and that's the main thing SP wants to do here. You cannot take a front to back 5v5. You want to split it in half, maybe isolate a few of CW's players, and take a few picks that way.
The tricky part is because of the range that Lucian has. It's so low, right? You're 5-on-5 front and back. You're just gonna get shredded by ricochets from the Sivir.
Yeah, if you're Lucian, there's not much you can do except for sit there and press column.
Speaking of which, right now we have the Baron being started up. Weaver's Wall is going to be stolen away and used to disengage. They already managed to isolate the Nautilus, who might just fall here. The auto attack from Sherwin is good and true. Meanwhile, off the back, there's no one really coming except Ice Destiny, who finds the stun and the culling off the back. This might be the fight. The SP one's in the center of it all, though. However, turning around, Astronology popping off 3 kills. Not looking for the 4th and not getting it, in fact. A back and forth fight nevertheless, but only 2 members alive right now are Enner and Chiffon.
2 for 3, but crucially SP does manage to stop the Baron.
Stopping the Baron, the Zhonya is being used, or the stopwatch rather, by JPGY to keep himself safe. Like you said, Baron has been pulled off. 3 members of CW still alive with the jungler available. But overall, that is not a possible Baron take.
It's not the best fight, but as long as you stop the Baron may have signaled the end of the game. So as long as you stop that objective take, it's actually not that bad of a trade.
Hoping that they can take this to a point where the Vigar is, confident enough to one-shot the Syndra, because time and time again you can see in these fights, as long as Huang Yeji is still alive, it makes it so difficult for them to continue on these fights.
I think the real question here is whether or not Veigar is ever going to reach the point to one-shot the Syndra, because I don't think that's going to happen within the next half an hour. Maybe if you hit the 60-minute mark, maybe, but I don't think there's any chance right now that, unless significant damage is done to the Syndra already, Veigar's going to stand quite much of a chance.
Right, so let's take a look at this replay. They managed to isolate the Nautilus, which is great, but then the fight kind of turns on its head when the rest of the team uncoordinated. You see Ice Destiny going in, everyone else is just way too far behind, and Astronology just ripped them apart right here.
Yep, a combination for Astronology and Huang Yeji is able to just pop most of the members of SP.
Oh, we're starting to see a bit of deja vu here as this Weaver's Wall is going to split up this fight. Good damage on the back. They finally find the Syndra though, then that's important because now Sherwin can isolate the back line and they're looking for this fight. Astronology left completely untouched, but will get stopped up by the Event Horizon, and now they're turning their sights onto the top laner. This fight is split once more and Astronology will eventually fall, re-engaging on the front. Insight will land a hook and JPGY as well as friends are doing the work that needs to be done. Can they even get this? As they go in once more, Ice Destiny healing up. He has the Yuumi with him. He might be able to turn this one around. Kingslayer is necessary if he wants to win this fight. He finally procs the GA. He gets the double kill and the heal. Jesus, look at that health bar as he gets the shutdown. It's gonna be the Yuumi, fittingly, to get the ace. What a split fight from SP, but they do it. They finally do it.
That was a huge fight. That was an amazing engage from SP. And unfortunately, the Syndra was trapped against a rock and a hard place, unable to get over the wall. Is popped instantly, unable to put out any much more damage.
You know what is the most tilting thing to me is that these teams understand, they know that they need to fight on 2 fronts.
Yep.
And they're always playing the fight. They always know that the fight cannot happen in a 5v5. And to me as a caster, I'm like, wow, how do I look at this and narrate the action? But it's exactly what they need to do if they want to win. They need to split the fight, and SP has been doing so time and time again.
And look at the gold. They're only 1k gold apart at this point in the game, which is very rare to see recently. So one thing they can do to split up the gold lead, maybe SP wants to claw back their 1k, take this Baron.
Speaking of Baron, SP looking to finish this one off, but Talia is nearby with the smite available. Will not be stolen away, instead it will be secured by Ice Destiny, the jungler for SP. Astronology walking forward, leading the charge, but no one there to back him up, and they will disengage and look for the Elder Dragon. That's the next big prize available. Weaver's Wall will be used to cut off Astronology, but this is the big teddy bear in the carnival that is victory right now. They have 4 buffs, and grabbing this Elder Dragon will mean the world to them as they look to take the next fight ensuingly.
Ice Destiny won't make it.
Not gonna get there in time, but should they even take this fight is the question. The stun connecting onto Enner is gonna be an issue here as they use the Event Horizon to disengage, and the stun is true. They have the inside track on the mid lane. They're gonna be walking in, but JPGY leading the charge now. They're taking turns walking forward. If he lands a seismic shove, it might just be game over.
Yeah, they're actually going to take a few towers here, which is actually very crucial for SP coming back into this game. You can look at the gold, they're actually just a little bit in the lead here, but if College West has that dragon buff, I don't think it's going to be very easy for SP to push, even though they have the Baron.
They locked the Nautilus inside the Event Horizon, and they finally finish off the mid-tier 2 now. They're looking like they want to take this fight. They immediately delete the Nautilus, and the Slicing Maelstrom in the center of it all is going to split the fight. They find 3 already. Oh, it's tell a lie, it's only 2 as they get the Irelia off the back. I thought the damage was going to come and finish off the backline, but instead they're going to survive. The Syndra left completely untouched still.
Take a look, SP has no members dead. They see that the Syndra is still alive and is in the backline. We can't reach it, let's disengage.
Exactly, I thought they were going to hard commit, but perhaps that would have been the mistake that they made that lost them the game. But right now they're going back, they're resetting, they say, hey, we have Baron buff, let's take bot tier 2.
Playing very smart here, and for their efforts they're going to be able to chunk a huge amount of health off the bottom tier 2. About 50% now, they're not going to take it, but still there's some damage that they're able to get on the turret that they weren't able to do so before.
I just want to sidetrack a bit and say that, you know, my earlier comment about Ice Destiny playing majority tanks has sort of have to be retracted now, because he's performing amazingly this game. He's been a core member in majority of these fights, and you could tell that the style of the team is being led by him. The calls that they make, the reasons they disengage, it's all off the back of Ice.
Right, I think he did face plant a few times in the earlier in the game. He tried to reach too far when his team was unable to follow up, but I think now with his leadership, SP is able to look for a win when they weren't able before.
Looking pretty good now, Singapore Polytechnic. I'm not just saying that because they are my alma mater. They clawed their way back into what was a disastrous deficit. Also, if we're keeping track, Vigar is at 319 stacks, so that is 320 now, so that is a sizable amount of AP. Currently sitting at 707, and with that, Banshee's Veil completed.
Yep, a lot of defensive items as well as supportive items. Even though he's unable to pop most of the members on College West, I think he has built enough items so that he's able to be some form of impactful one way or another.
But that's the thing though, because you can still build utility on Vigar and eventually start scaling up, because your Q gives you AP. As long as you have enough stacks, you're still going to be doing damage and still be impactful in these fights.
Yep, but you do have to give him a little bit more time before he's going to be able to be that impactful that he's going to turn the fight around, you know?
Right.
So I think if you're SP, you give him a few more waves and see how it plays from there.
Last item, Death Cap, he'll be solid.
Oh yeah.
Looking for the siege on bot tier 2 now, stealing and using the Vanguard's edge, leading the charge is the Nautilus. A bit of a misposition as they hook in the cannon, but it's not who you want, buddy. They finally get the kill on the ender, and this might be the turnaround that they need. Astronology with the GA will eventually get popped. Ice Destiny now backing off with Shara. They're looking to take this fight front and back. Ice Destiny now getting isolated. Shara will eventually fall. Ice Destiny should be the next target here. You get a clean ace somehow off the back of a massive engaged Chiffon, man. That's a expected Yuumi death, and jeez, CW just ripped them up new one.
I tell you what, Kenner is exactly who Nautilus want to engage, because then his ultimate is deemed low impact. When he has no impact, CW just runs at SP and pops everyone up.
I have to agree with you 100%, Spuds, because he landed the hook onto cannon. He wasn't able to cut the front line and back line in half. Couldn't find an entry point to the fight, and as a result, there was just a low impact ultimate. Sherwin had nothing doing in that fight, and now they could look to close out this game.
Look at those death timers. They're not going to be able to defend this. That's a win for College West right there.
Wow, a game that was back and forth the whole way, but well due respect given to ITE College West, claiming the victory and dethroning Ice Destiny. He's done, man. They managed to take Singapore Poly down a peg. The undefeated team for this group will finally suffer their first loss.
And both these teams, don't get me wrong, they both played amazingly well. Look at the goal difference at the end of the game, 74.6 to 77.0. I think that really shows that this was an extremely close game, unlike some of the ones we've seen before.
Oh yeah, first two games stomps.
Yeah, and so I think both these teams deserves ample credit because they both played exceptionally well.
And if I had to compare seeds, these are the two teams that are closest, like you mentioned, in terms of seeding. I'm so excited, I can't wait to see how they perform on the main stage, where you transition off these best of ones into a series where there's space to grow, when there's evolution of strategies.
Yep, adaptability is going to be one aspect that we haven't seen just yet, but hopefully both these teams show us something that we haven't seen yet either.
Right, with that guys, we will be going for a short break. I believe we have at least one qualifier tiebreaker that will be coming into use. We'll probably use that to decide the seedings as we move forward. But for now guys, take a short break, use the washroom, grab a cup of water, go for a short break, we'll come back real soon, see you then.